A very good morning to you watching Westnile Television, wherever you are catching the show live from. You're most welcome, and it is KOKOLIRIKO Live on Westnile Television. My name is Denis Oringi, and I thank you very much for joining me this morning. Today, Tuesday of the month of that is June, and today 13th 2023, and that is what you need to know right there. If you have forgotten with your calendar, and today is already 13th, we are getting into the half of the month. For those who think that we are still at the beginning of the month, and how many days are we into another month? 13 days. And for those who think that days are not really moving, I have to tell you that days are moving very fast, and so that is what I can really tell you this morning. And we shall be able to give you a breath of every information that you need to know this morning, up to the time that I will be leaving the studio at exactly 9 a.m. in the morning. And do not forget that I will be dropping you what we call the sports update right there, and also getting to give to know what is happening in the dailies. That is the Daily Monitor and the New Vision as well, and also what is happening at that is a State House in regards to the health of the President of the Republic of Uganda. You have to know that last week he was tested the COVID-19 positive, and so President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has taken a leave from his duty, and so he's at his home, and that is a State House Nakasero, where he is really recovering, very, very fast, and that's good news that we are getting right here. Much as social media was awash with the number of unfounded story, but we cannot rely on such stories, because you have to get your fact right, and so the sources that you can use to get your facts right. Let us not just get to any story that appears on the social media and then you take it as a gospel truth. That is not the right thing, and so the rumors are spreading around is not true. And so President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, he's recovering steadily. That's something that you need to know right there. All right, for those who have lost their dear ones, I have to tell you that take heart. God will protect you, and God will always be with you. And I have to say this, that may the souls of those that have departed from us rest in peace. And that is the reality of life, and we cannot move away from that. Do not think that you will not die. You will die as well, and so, but not now. You have to take good care of yourselves, and you have to take precautions. The health experts are there to advise you on what you are supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. And so it's necessary that each and every morning when you wake up, you have to do a bit of jogging around, and so you have to stress the veins, and so that before you get on road to your workplace, you are really active and your brain is very active. And so let me believe that my brain is also active, and that's why I am able to communicate to you this morning. And so for the people in the Greater Navy, have to say that may the soul of late that is Oketa Charles Wilfred Openstow, who was the head teacher of War Girls Secondary School, and also at the same time he served as the head teacher of Erusi and also the head teacher of Vura. After his retirement from the government service, he was able to caretake St. Thomas Aquinas as the head teacher, and so he is a renowned educationist in this region. And so for the people who have passed through his hands, you know who the person I'm talking about here, and we know very many instrumental people that we have in this region that were able to pass through his hands. And so yesterday he was laid to rest, and that is the information that I have to let you know this morning, that we have lost the great man, the educationist in this region, that is not other than Mr. Charles Oketa. And so for those who know him, you can really bear with me that he was such a person who loved education, and he was a very good advisor when it comes to education management in the Greater Navy and also West Nile at large, because he was able to serve in those capacities that have been able to mention. And so may his soul rest in that of peace. Not only him, and not those who have also departed from us, I continue to say that may they rest in that of peace, as we are on the journey to the journey that they have really completed, and they are in for another world that we believe that we shall also join them in that world. And so that is what I can really tell you this morning. All right, dear viewer, you have to know that we shall be getting to give you some of the stories that you need to know right here from West Nile, and also knowing what is happening in northern region, and it's something that you need to know right there. And so let me start from some of the local stories that we have from that is the Daily Monitor here this morning. I have to tell you the senior police officer shared the plot to kill city lawyer, says Enanga. Is another story that has emerged about the killing of the city lawyer I think a week ago in Kampala, where that lawyer was really murdered in a cold blood right there at his home in Kampala. And so the senior police, that is Fred Enanga, has really come out to say to speak something about that. And so I will be diving into that stories more. But for now, you have to know that it's 34 minutes past hour over 7 a.m. right here on Westnile Television. Let's go for a break, and when we come back, we shall be able to dive into more stories that we have for you this morning. Good morning.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, a very good morning to you. I'll be back, and thank you very much for joining us this morning. Let's start from the region West Nile, and we are talking about issues to do with stakeholders engagement when it comes to government construction works that are being undertaken in the region. Let's start with this story. Development Initiative DI held a stakeholder meeting with key stakeholders, including the Arua city leadership, to clear the air on the construction progress of Arua Regional Blood Bank after concerns of the delay in project completion, delayed payment of workers, and lack of materials on site. Let's have more on this story.
Today, the representatives of the development infrastructure, the Uganda Blood Bank Transfusion Service, Arua Regional Referral Hospital and the Arua City leadership held a stakeholder meeting on the construction progress of the Arua Regional Blood Bank project on the site in Arua City. The team of stakeholders inspected the construction site, presented progress reports and held discussions to determine the challenges, mitigations and conclusions as to the delay of the completion of the Arua Regional Blood Bank. The LC1 chairperson's hospital cell, Aziwa David, stated that there are some workers that haven't been paid for their work for the construction from the foundation to the walls.
What we realize is that people who were here, they are not there. They have been stopped from work because maybe the work has ended or something. I'm not aware. But I imagine these people who are supposed to be in this committee, they are not here because they have been stopped for their work. I'm happy that the payment, though it took long for them to clear the payments, it was already done. That's why I say that I thank them. Otherwise, we are going to be dragged in court. Many things have already gone high. So these kind of things are not going to be okay. For a project like this, when it is coming to an end, more especially as I talk now, I have a long list of people who have not been paid from the wall, from the foundation up to the wall. Some of them I saw them inside here. I think somebody asked them to move away. So if we sit in a place where there's lots of issues like this, I don't think we'll come out with very good ideas.
Adrico Innocent, safety officer, raised concerns on the safety and protection of workers on the construction site.
The workers must be treated as important people who are doing us the work. So we moved around there. We have found that the workers are not protected. Mostly, but we need at least a good number of workers who are not having the helmet. Those who are mixing, who are in the cement, they don't have masks and they don't have goggles. No mask and goggles. So we feel the workers, the first thing to be protected are the workers, because they're the ones doing us the work. I checked the accident log. The last accident they said, which happened here, was in 24th April. So since that time, up to date, there's no accident. But while we were moving, the used timbers with the exposed nails were all over around. So we think management of the waste used timbers must be collected, they must be kept somewhere so that they are safe.
Etrima Sande, the Chief Executive Officer for Development Infrastructure, is urging the stakeholders to look at the positive achievements of the projects and commit to paying the workers.
We are being really aggressive. We are doing our best. Even if you compare our committee, only that, let's not only focus on this side. Also other sites. There are sites where people are going to be paid for 3 months or 4 months. But here we are trying our best. And then, as I said before, let's focus also on the positive part of this project. Let's not only focus on the challenge, but those that have been addressed. And then, as if they are outstanding, director, I commit myself. When we get additional funds, all these money should be here.
Alex Tumwesije, the Senior Engineer, Ministry of Health, has cautioned the constructor to put more effort to resolve their internal issues within the administration in order to fast-track the progress of the project.
The issues of workers on site, if the contractors put workers on site, you tell us, like the RSS has said, we sit in this meeting and terminate the contract. Because these are the issues you should have discussed and agreed, so that this man can bring the workers on site even before we come. Now, it is true when you look at this site, the workers are few. Director, please, the workers are few. The materials are not there. What is the sad? It is not there. And we expect it is better. Secondly, the issue of cement. What is cement? You know, you cannot say don't have a store here. What do you have paid for it to construct a store? There is money for you that was paid for it to construct a store. Where is it? You want a store here for materials? Fine. So we are requesting you, kindly, you put in more effort, solve those issues. You know, there are issues you are facing that you are not taking gas. You have looked at the work program with my colleagues and you have rejected it because the activities you are telling us to do in June is almost ending and you have not started. So we request that you go, Mr. Warrior, go and update the work program. We want to update the work program and we will see how the promise has to finish in September. Because the work is ending in September. It's ending in September. And please, we don't want to add any more time because we shall start charging you money. Kindly don't ask for more time.
The resident city commissioner Akelo Alice Akena has cautioned the constructor to work hard to fast-track the project.
That works below 10 billion is for you people. Unless you are bewitched. I don't see why you delay. What's wrong with you? Money is there. You are saying government, global problem. We don't have materials on ground. We don't have what it takes. The generator is sounding because we are here. Last week, my office was on fire. All your workers were in front of my office. We have not been. You can't fail to pay a few workers. I don't need them in front of my office. Really, it is a shame. Pay these boys. Do your part. These people are saying money is there. Why can't you go and get that money? You want your name to be tarnished? Now, the staff quarters are going to be given to other contractors. Is that good enough for you? It is a shame. And make sure we have workers on site. We have mobilized all the materials. Pay these boys who have not been paid their families to take care of. Why can't you have a foreman? I am coming back here. I want to find him on site. And I will be checking here every evening to see what is taking place here. Thank you for the work you've done so far. Now move marathon so that we catch up with time.
The construction of the Arua Regional Blood Bank commenced on the 19th of December 2022 with funding from the World Bank through the Uganda Intergovernmental Fiscal Transfer Program to the tune of 2.9 billion shillings. Today, the project stands at 51% completion with 100 days left for completion. Okumuringa Christine for Westnile Television, Nilecast.
All right, thank you very much, Christine Okumuringa, for that report. I do not want to say more about the report. You have heard by yourself. That is about the ongoing construction of the regional blood bank here in Arua City, and that is under the Arua Regional Referral Hospital. And so we leave it to that, and so we have to fast-track the construction projects that are being undertaken in this region, in different districts that we do have. I can remember very well that Dr. Deep is implementing different projects in Madiokolo, and that is also government programs. And so I would really implore the local people, let us get interested in understanding some of these projects that are being undertaken in our areas or in our localities, because that is how we shall begin to understand how government works. And so nobody should intimidate you because you are asking, accountability question. It is aspect of accountability that I want to tell you this morning, that you have the right to demand for the accountability and find out how the progress of the work is going on. And so if you do not want to take part in the project that is being undertaken in your area, then do not complain, because you are one of the beneficiaries who are supposed to benefit from the project. And remember, it's a government of the Republic of Uganda's money. It is a loan from World Bank, and so it will be us to pay this loan together with our grandchildren. And so we have to take charge of the projects that are being undertaken, so that should the work is not done at the site, because once the shoddy work is done, the contractor, after handing over, will disappear. It will be us, it will be me and you to really benefit from that project. So if the work has been shoddy, remember the lifespan of the project will not last for long, and that means that we have really lost the project right there. And so let's get to Terego District, where councillors in Terego District are demanding for an explanation over the 3 years run of the district without the district public accounts committee, whose mandates are essential in fighting corruption in the district. Since its commencement in 2020, Terego District has no functional public accounts committee, despite councils approving and the subsequent appointment by Minister of Public Service in 2022. Issues to do with the public accountability is very serious here in Terego District, where the district is operating without the public account committee. And so, how is the district running in regards to check and balance? Let's have more on this story reported by Frederick Dramadri.
3 years down the road since the split of Terego District from Oro District in 2020, the district has continued to operate without the Public Accounts Committee, affecting service delivery in the monitoring obligations. In May 2022, the District Council approved members of the District Public Accounts Committee, and all these were appointed by the Ministry of Public Service. However, due to the bureaucracy at work of not exhibiting transparency between the Chief Administrative Office of the district and the district chairperson, both have failed to accord suitable environment for the commission to commence its work. During a recent council sitting at the district headquarters, the speaker demanded for answers to why, to date, the district's Public Accounts Committee could not take off with the work. Chief Administrative Officer Benson Othim, in response, the district chairperson Wilfred Saka for not determining the rates of the members of Public Accounts Committee as the allowances for the work they were to do.
These members are appointed. What I did for the commission was to just come out with a document for appointing them. But appointing them is the mandate of the district chairperson. But in case I'm needed to frame terms of reference for these members, we are discussed, day and night, they are sitting.
Meanwhile, the district chairperson, Wilfred Saka, reiterates in turn by accusing the Chief Administrative Officer for not executing his mandates.
Mr. Kao, I wish you didn't use logic, use justice. We would have been somewhere. District chairman determining rates is a very funny thing that I have been seeing for the first time. I'm not really supposed to be writing letters, technical letters to do with money. I wish this guy can explain. The first time we started discussing plan, and I also recall in the day, several, you kept instructing the Clerk Council to draft this for your perusal, for my final signature.
Terego District has been at least probed by the Inspectorate of Government of allegations of misappropriations and mismanagement of resources by the district officials every month. Frederick Dramadri, Westnile TV, Nilecast.
All right, thank you very much, Frederick Dramadri, for that report. When we talk about the Public Accounts Committee, it is a very serious committee that a district cannot do without. And so if a district is functioning without the Public Account Committee, then the district has to be checked properly, because the committee, its mandate is to check and balance the operation of the district in terms of the public resources, how they are being managed and they are being utilized. Remember, each and every financial year, there's a budget that is being passed, and this budget is supposed to guide the district to see that service is delivered to the people, or services are delivered to the people. And so if there is no committee to check on that, at Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, we have the Public Account Committee, local government, and we have the Public Account Committee, central government, and also we have the COSASE that is in place, and that is one of the committees of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. And so the same structure that we have at Parliament of the Republic of Uganda should also be reinstated in all the districts that we do have. And that's why there is that District Public Accounts Committee that is supposed to be in place. And the work of that committee is to check and balance the operations of the district in terms of the utilization of the public resources. And so I wanted very much to give you a brief about the Public Accounts Committee. And so if you are interested in understanding the work of the Public Accounts Committee, let me tell you, out of the Auditor General's report, that is where they begin to and understand how how district was able to spend its money. And so if we do not have the public account committee, let me tell you that there's a problem in that district. I do not know how many districts do we have in West Nile that are not having the public accounts committee. And if those districts are there, then the people who are in that district should really sit down and think twice. If not, I have to tell you that there's something shaky going on. You have heard from Terry LC5, Cow, not understanding what is supposed to be done. It is all about bureaucracy right there. Who is supposed to do what, at what time exactly? It's one of the biggest problems that I have got from this particular story. LC5 chairperson is saying that, Cow, that is not my work. I am not a technical person here. I am a political head of the district. And the Cow is saying that district LC5 should sit together with the executive to decide how much should these, public account committee members be paid. And so it's about who is supposed to direct what. And so we leave it to them right there. And I believe that in the next council, this will not really come up because it will be a repetition of what has been discussed and resolved. And so I believe that the resolution was reached at that somebody should take responsibility of ensuring that the public account committee members are really formed and are really got and they form that committee so that their work in running the institution of that is Terego district will be a very successful one. And remember, the public accounts committee is very, very instrumental in the development of a district or the development of a country. And that's why Uganda has got around 3 bodies that are to check the issues of accountability here in our country, Uganda. We have the Public Accounts Committee local and we have the Public Account Committee central. And so their reports are always published, and you can get to the Parliament portal and you'll be able to get some of the reports that this committee was able to release. And currently the Public Accounts Committee local is being chaired by the former LC5 chairperson of Gulu district, Ojara Martin Mapenduzi, who is representing the people of Badegla Ibi division that is in Gulu city right there, and he represents the independent right there, much as he was the Forum for Democratic Change, a great member right there, but he seems to be the independent opposition leading. I do not know, but I think that's what I have for you in terms of his positioning right here in our country, Uganda. Is one of the wise leaders that we do have in this country. When you talk about local government, he is a guy who is a dictionary in regards to that, and also encyclopedia when you want to get any information about local government. And for those who are failing to manage their districts, let me tell you something. You can just be a personal friend to Ojara Martin Mapenduzi. He will be able to educate you and tell you what you're supposed to do as the LC5 chairperson of the district that you have been entrusted with that power to lead. And so that's something that I can really let you know this morning in regards to that. Let's get more stories this morning. You have to know that the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is in good spirits and recovering steadily from the illness caused by coronavirus. His principal private secretary, Dr. Kenneth Omona, has assured Ugandans. And so Dr. Omona made the statement on Monday, 12th yesterday, speaking to journalists at Nakasero State Lodge shortly after receiving a banner full of messages of goodwill from Ugandans to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni right there. And so let's have the picture of the banner that people are writing their goodwill messages right there. And so that is what you can really see. And so that is the principal private secretary of the President of the Republic of Uganda, and you have seen the love that the Ugandans have really shown to the President of the Republic of Uganda. I do not know if I fall sick now, whether people will really come and write some messages for me so that I can really, take in good faith, so that I can really recover. But those are messages written by Ugandans, not by foreigners. And so that means that the President of the Republic of Uganda is loved. If you think that he's not loved, that testifies to you that the President of the Republic of Uganda, he is loved, not like you who is not loved. And so that's something that you need to know. And so we wish him well, and I believe that with the messages that have been written, they are all positive messages, and so we believe so. I cannot read all the messages that have been written on that banner, but I think they are good messages that have been written for our President of the Republic of Uganda. Right there. Let's go for a break, and you have to allow 3 minutes to the top of the hour, 8 a.m. right on Westnile Television. My name is Denis Oringi. Let's go for a break, and when we come back, we still have more for you right here. And we shall be diving into what is happening in the dailies of today, the Daily Monitor and the New Vision. Right there. Good morning.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
It is exactly 8 a.m. right on Westnile Television. I do not know how your watch is reading, but mine is telling me that it's now 1 minute past the hour of 8 a.m. right on Westnile Television. Dear viewer, let's get to the dailies this morning. Let's know what is happening in the Daily Monitor and the New Vision. I have to tell you that more than 100 Congolese nationals have entered Pondwe, Lubiriha Town Council in Kasese District following suspected allied democratic forces attacks on local communities. The group includes mainly women and children from a township in that is Lubiriha, neighboring Uganda. 8 people are reported to have been killed during the attack, according to local residents and leaders who spoke to this reporter of the Daily Monitor. And so they are currently camped at the St. Michael Catholic Shrine, Kabuhiri in Pondwe town right there. And so Sylvester Maponzi, the Pondwe Lubiriha Town Council's chairman, said Monday that the group entered the country through Kabururu Shell at around 11 p.m. on Sunday under the guard of UPDF. He added that local leaders are working with the security personnel and other partners to organize for the refugees and anticipating them to go back as soon as there are reports of normalcy right there. And so quoting from him, he says here that the total number of people who were received is 134, including one Ugandan who had gone to the garden in Democratic Republic of Congo. The town council is currently facing a challenge of sheltering these people and providing them with food and other basic needs. But we have informed the government, he said right there. And so Bonzi noted that they are mobilizing the local community to really get food and other items for the Congolese while registering those who would wish to stay with relatives within Uganda right there. And so Mirias Kahindo said she left behind her 11-year-old disabled child because she was unable to carry her along with the other two siblings, and so she is contemplating getting back to find out if her child is safe and alive right there. And so that is what we can really give you in regards to the Congolese nationals who have crossed into Uganda due to the suspected ADF attacks right that side of the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. I think the mountain division that is based in Kasese will be able to handle that serious matter right there. And so I think we had really, stayed away from reports from the ADF attacking some villages in eastern Democratic Republic of Congo and also parts of Uganda. I think the UPDF soldiers that are camping that side of Mount Division that is in Kasese will be able to do the needful right there. And so we shall keep you updated in regards to the suspected ADF attack at the other side of the western part of this country, and we pray for the souls of those that have been killed in that suspected attack to rest in eternal peace. But the story of this woman is so touching when she decided to leave her 11-year-old disabled girl child right that side of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And so that is the kind of situation that persons with disability find themselves into. And so you find that they tend to, when such insurgency crop up, the persons with disability, they are the ones who suffer a lot. People don't care about them, and people tend to say that since you cannot run with us, you just remain behind. And some of them are told, please, you can now die and rest in peace because we cannot carry you. You see, we are also running for our dear lives. And so I think we need to begin advocating for the persons with disabilities, more especially in the war-prone area. They are really suffering in regards to that. And so this story of this woman is so touching, where she has decided to leave a 11-year-old disabled girl child right there, the other side of the Democratic Republic of Congo, after the suspected ADF attack right there in their village. And so I think we shall be able to update you with this story. Let's get more story in regards to crime. Security arrest 102 suspected robbers in a city operation is also another story. I want to hear from Arua here how many suspected robbers who always terrorize people in the city here are arrested. I do not know whether it is very hard to arrest these young boys who are always pickpocketing and also grabbing people's bags, especially women who are leaving the markets going back to their homes. We have people who have lost billions of money here in Arua City. Today suspected robbers that are terrorizing people here in Arua City. Maybe if they can give me that opportunity to just command the operation only for a night, and then you see what Denis Oringi will really do to these suspected thieves. It's very simple to arrest these guys. It's just a matter of stage managing certain things. You can really have a very serious young ladies who will be moving with bags along the streets as a security personnel used not to put on uniform but to be in a plain cloth like intelligence officers. You just tour, and once you get somebody doing that, just a matter of either putting him down or arresting him. I can remember vividly Labeja, the former mayor of Gulu municipality. He was known for dealing with such suspected robbers who were terrorizing the people of Gulu municipality, and then now it is a city. They used to have people like Ago, a local name given to these robbers, who are always in corridors in Gulu city. But currently you can go and move in Gulu, in any street, in any corridor that you get in Gulu. Just move, nothing will happen to you, because the security personnel are serious about fighting these robbers who are always terrorizing the city dwellers. I do not know here in Arua what is happening, whether it is an initiative or it is a special move by the security personnel to really clean up the city. If that is not there, then the security personnel that we do have here in the city can really take that as an initiative to clean up Arua city of these robbers. There was one when I was going home, and I was on a border, and so they covered the number plate of the motorcycle, and they were having matalimba in their hands, and so waiting to hit somebody who is moving with the bag. And so when they realized that somebody serious is following them, they had to take off. And I told the border, follow these guys to the destination that they are really going. And so when they realized that there are wrong elements and being also followed by a good element, they had to make they had to make a corner. And so defeating me right there, because my border was not good in making a corner like theirs. And so they took off. And I said, if I had those weapons, I would really do something good on them. Teach them some lessons that you can go and steal in heaven or in hell if you think that you can go and steal from there. And for me, I don't give a damn to a thief, because they can really make you go backward. They cannot make you progress, because they steal whatever they get, and they come with the aim of stealing and killing at the same time. And so when you get the thief, don't think that you're dealing with the right person there. That person wanted to kill you and also rob you at the same time. And so how do you handle him? You handle him very well, because the law in this country accepts that you have to arrest and take him to police. But people are getting to lose trust in the police officers, because when these thieves are arrested, just after an hour you don't see them. They are nowhere to be seen. So if we were to count the number of thieves that have been arrested, we would really parade the whole of Barifa forest would be full of thieves. But where are they? They are here with us. They are being released at a certain point. And so maybe because of lack of evidence right there. But some of them have been arrested with evidence. And then you see them living also like that. And so what should we do? Should we take it to the public court to decide? All right, I leave it back to you. And so if you have ever been robbed, you know what I'm talking about. If your relative or your mother, your father has been robbed, you understand what I'm talking about here. It is a very serious issue that need to be fought, jointly. And so don't leave it only to the security personnel to get to arrest these thieves and these robbers that we do have terrorizing people in the city right here. Arua is known for that. I can remember vividly in 2018 when the Uganda National Teachers Union organized for their delegate conference here in Arua. Teachers were robbed seriously. It was a serious one. Teachers who came from different parts of this country were seriously robbed. Some of them went back without their bags, even because they were still new to Arua. They didn't know how Arua was. And even some nurses also testified that the other time when they came to Arua for the Nurses' Day celebration, because they had a conference, they were here for around 3 to 4 days, and many lost their property during that time to these robbers that we have in this city. And you know what? Where they stay and where they hide, they're known, you understand. But we allow them to continue operating because there's somebody who made a statement that we cannot do without thieves in the city. So we shall continue to have thieves. But that is a very wrong perception there. We cannot just say that we should allow these thieves to continue terrorizing people. The people who come from villages, they are really suffering in this city. I know of some who testified to me, who told me, who communicated to me that I've lost my millions to these bandits that we do have here in the city. Do you know what they do? If it's your first time, you're planning to come to Arua to buy something, please avoid buying things in corridors. You will come and ask for a price of this thing. They will say, you know what? After knowing that you're from a village, you have money, they will say that what you want is not here. We have a good one behind the building. And so let us go. In that process of you going to check the one that I've told you that it is behind the building, they are going to put you on knife point, not gun point, because they don't have guns. They use knives, pangas. Somebody will just raise pangas on you and then either put knife on your tummy and then tells you, please release what you have in your pockets. And so these are the games that they play. So once somebody has really shown for you a knife, what happens? You will just collapse. You will really comply with them. And on top of that, they will even box you and beat you up. Yet you have brought for them money and they have even collected money from you. On top of that, they will beat you up so that you don't come and complain. You just said those guys are deadly. There are no guys who are deadly. You also have to be deadly like them. And then you handle yourself. Rebels and soldiers, when they meet, you know what happens. And so all of us, we should really be very proactive in fighting these thieves, the robbers that we have in the city. It calls for collective responsibility. I don't like seeing people losing their millions of money. Yet they struggle very hard to get this money. And then just the money to come and disappear here in Arua, yet we know where they stay, and No actions are being taken, and I challenge the leaders that we have in the city. They just allow these things to happen. I do not know, maybe they eat together with them. Because we cannot continue to have people who are human beings terrorizing people at our watch, yet we can do something to them. So if the area A and B are bad areas, what are we supposed to do as leaders? Let's round up the place, arrest the people, ask them, what do you do? Like they always do in the barracks. I love UPDF for one thing. They're disciplined soldiers. You don't stay in their areas of jurisdiction anyhow. After a month checkup, at exactly 4 a.m. in the morning, they come and collect you from your room because they know that time you cannot get out to go for work. They come and pick you whether you're sleeping. Whether you're a good person or you're a bad person, you will be sorted out in the Kiwanja. And Kiwanja is a football pitch. And so you will be taken to a Kiwanja and they will tell you, can you give us your ID? Do you have your work ID? Yes, give us your work ID. What work do you do? Do you have your national ID? Yes, I do have. What where are you staying and where are you from? What is your name? So if you have all these, then you're sorted differently. Those who don't have national IDs and the work they do is not clear and they cannot be identified by the LC1 chairperson, they're sorted differently. And those are the people you deal with because they have nothing that they're doing, but they continue to live a life. They continue even to live expensive life than even those that are really working with some of the organizations and companies that we have in this country. And we allow them just to continue like that. We cannot allow that. It's quite unfortunate that I'm not one of the leaders, but my work is to talk. And I believe that the leaders who are listening to this, you're getting me right. And those are some of the things that you do. If you want people to trust you again, comes 2026. Get to fight these thieves and robbers. If you want the city to develop, we cannot have the city developed with the robbers. People will fear to come and invest and open up businesses here because they don't want to lose the money that they are really struggling hard to get. And so if you steal my salary that I've struggled after 30 days, you think I will leave you? I will not leave you because you do not know how I suffered talking from morning up to the time that I always leave the studio. And it's not an easy thing. So if somebody steals that money, you know what it happens to you? It breaks you down. Your level of pressure increases. And what happens after that? You will just die. And one of the religious persons did say that people die not because people are sick. People are not sick, but people die because of poverty and pressure and depression, because they have lost something or they are undergoing through problems and they have looked for solutions for those problems all in vain. Somebody did say the sickness cannot kill you, but the situation you are in will force you to die. You understand? Will force you to die. Mark my English. The situation you are in will force you to die together with the sickness that you have. And so sickness will not kill, but the situation you're in will kill you. And that's what you have to know. You become sick and you're poor. Let me tell you, are you going to survive? No, you will not survive because you will not be able to afford medicine. You will not be able to afford the hospital bill. And that is the situation we are talking about. And so sickness is there, yes, but the situation you're in will force you to die. The situation is poverty. And so we cannot allow ourselves just be killed like that. And so people who always want people to be in that situation, let me tell you, you have no room in my heart and you have no room and place where I stay. I will deal with you accordingly. And so that is something that you need to know right there. And so the suspected robbers that were arrested, 102 in Kampala, that's a good move by police. And I want to see this also in other towns that we have in this country. Come to Arua, I want to see police officers arresting these thieves and parading them. And we have Superintendent of Police, Josephine Angushia, addressing media, giving us the numbers of these people arrested. I want to hear that so that I will be able to know that people are really, fighting these robbers seriously in this city. These are people who are really making us not to develop. Let's get to National Water Sewerage Corporation puts Masaka Hospital on notice over 200 million bill that has accumulated over them. And so that's something that you need to know that National Water and Sewerage Corporation has written to, that is Masaka Hospital right there. I think maybe hospital also was written to. They're supposed to pay over 170 million as has accumulated a water bill right at that side of Nebi. I do not know whether Nebi district local government or the Minister of Health has really cleared off the bill that accumulated on Nebi Hospital in regards to water right there. And so that is something that you need to know in regards to that is in regards to hospital management and other stuff. And so also in the Daily Monitor there's a very nice story that is a story of a teacher who he's teaching in Terego district called Afakoro, who handles primary 4 pupils with a population of more than 300, and she said 6 children, she has 6 children, 3 in primary and 3 in secondary school. Luck is that she does not live far from the school right there. So you have the children, you have 6 children, 3 in primary, 3 in secondary, and then you are handling over 300 pupils in a class, and those are situations that I'm talking about. And so you find that you can really easily break down. At home you have that number of children, and then when you come to school also you are managing a very big class of 300 pupils that you have to teach, and they have to compete with the children of the rich who will be sitting for the same examinations at the end of the P7 and also senior 4, and that is the situation you're in. And then your child completes senior 4, senior 6, joins any tertiary institution or university, and then your child is chased from school because you cannot really pay the tuition fee. And then if he or she was able to complete after you completing the tuition fee, the person is not able to get job, and you find yourself in a situation that is so fixed as a parent. And so these are situations that we are talking about, and how can we work around these situations that we find ourselves into? And these are very serious issues. Dear viewer, I need to tell you this. If you're going through such, you should bear with me this morning that we have people who are really suffering in such kind of situation. So you can get this story of this primary teacher in regards to how she's able to cope up with the life right there. And so that is what I can really give you. UPDF defunct university in Row over 10-acre land is another story that you need to know right here. That the Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs is embroiled in a land wrangle with the defunct that is Fairland University located in Jinja City. Is what you need to know. The land in question is Porter M149, which overlooks the Senior Command and Staff College, Kimaka, Jinja Southern Division. Professor Solomon Wakabi, the chairperson board of governors at Fairland University, said the 10-acre land was in 2022 leased to the university for 99 years by Jinja District Land Board before the establishment of the Army Staff College right there. So according to Wakabi, the land was identified by Ministry of Works and Transport as ideal for the establishment of a railway station in Jinja, and agreed to compensate the university to enable it to develop its campus at its new premises in Masese Walokoba right there. So between 2003 and 2004, the Minister of Defense, without compensation or dialogue of any kind, blocked the university from assessing its plot for its intended development in the area, he said in an interview over the weekend. And so that is something that you need to know, that UPDF together with the defunct university in Row over 10-acre land that has been used for putting up, that is the Senior Command and Staff College in Kimaka, that is in Jinja right there. And so we shall be able to follow this story to the dot and find out who is at wrong and who acquired whose land fraudulently, is what we shall also be letting you know. Ethiopia repatriate that is 80 Ugandans duped with the promise to meet Jesus. So where should we meet Jesus? This question goes to all the religious persons. Where should we meet Jesus? Should we go to Jerusalem? Should we go to Galilee? Should we go to Ethiopia? Should we come to West Nile if we want to meet Jesus? And so Ethiopia repatriates 80 Ugandans duped with the promise to meet Jesus. Where exactly? Let me give you the story into full details. Authorities in Ethiopia have repatriated 80 Ugandans who were fleeced of their money with a promise to meet Jesus. If I want to meet Jesus, should I pay money? Let's get more. The leader of the team, Pastor Simon Opolot, has been on the joint security team's wanted list for duping believers attached to Christ Disciples Church in Soroti, Eastern Uganda, to sell their property and prepare to meet Jesus. I repeat, the leader of the team, Pastor Simon Opolot, has been on the joint security team's wanted list Team's wanted list for duping believers attached to Christ's Disciples Church in Soroti, Eastern Uganda, to sell their property and prepare to meet Jesus. And so according to security, Opolot said he had received a vision that Jesus was going to pick a few people to go to heaven, and that those to be chosen had to be in Ethiopia. Internal Affairs Ministry spokesperson Simon Peter Munday says when the group arrived in Ethiopia, they revealed that they were there to meet Jesus on a journey to heaven. I want to go to Ethiopia because that seems to be an area that people want to go to heaven on foot without dying, and you can be able to meet Jesus right there. So Munday explains that the Ethiopian authorities then decided to gather all the people who were arriving in separate groups, confined them in one place, and later contacted their Ugandan counterparts who processed the documentation for the repatriation. Quoting him saying, the returnees have said Pastor Opolot convinced them to fast for 40 days so that they can meet Jesus. On the 41st day, the condition was that to meet Jesus, they need to be in Ethiopia. And according to him, the world would immediately end. And so, when will the world come to end? In 2000, they told us that we should prepare. The world is coming to end. But let me tell you something, viewer. I've never gone to the school of theology, but God gave me that knowledge. It doesn't need me to go to a school of theology to understand this literature books that we do have. The Bibles are literature books. That's what you need to know, because they have been written, very, very nice. Once you have died, or once you are dead, that is the end of the world. So is there any other world? That is the end of the world. For you who has died, and that's what I can tell people. Once you are dead, you understand? You are gone. And that is the end of world for you. For us, we shall continue living in this world. That means that the world has not what? Ended. So the world only ends for you who has died. And we have a belief that there's another world for us after death. And so, the returnees have said Pastor Opolot convinced them to fast for 40 days so that they can meet Jesus on the 41st day. The condition was that to meet Jesus, they needed to be in Ethiopia, not in West Nile, not in Arua, in Ethiopia. And according to him, the world would immediately end. This comes weeks after over 150 people died when a self-styled pastor, that is Paul Mackenzie in Kenya, convinced his followers to fast to death in order to go to heaven. Those who will not use their brain to think, they will be fleeced. That's what I can tell you. And don't allow yourselves to be fleeced by those who claim to be pastors. Yes, we are supposed to have leaders. We are supposed to have prophets, those who prophesy. And these are people gifted by God. They are not common like this one that we do have. They are not common. And so we should use our brain. As Dennis Oringi, I know that if I am defeated in life, I still have my grandfather's land that I can go and cultivate and survive. Because my grandfather also used the land to survive. And he was able to bring up the grandchildren like Dennis Oringi and the rest. And so why should you be fleeced just like that? If you want to go and meet Jesus, your time will come. That's what the Bible tells us. But nobody can just convince you. Why can't that person first die before even going to heaven? And so somebody just flees you and the person does not even move with you. You sell your property and you give a lot of money. I think the Interreligious Council of Uganda should really be doing something to some of these churches that are cropping up. There was a word that was used for them, mushrooming. There's some mushrooming churches. Dear viewer, if you get me tomorrow opening a church, what will you say about me? You'll say, this Dennis Oringi, who used to work with Westnile Television, is now a pastor? Yes, I can be a pastor, but I cannot really do what these people are doing, because God has His plan for His people. It is a calling. There are those that have been called to be pastors. There are those that have been called to be priests. There are those that have been called to be bishops. In that hierarchy of the administration of the churches that we do have in this world, it is there. Those are just titles and hierarchy that need to be followed. It is like in an organization at home. We have the head of the family, we have the neck of the family, the women. You know, the women, I call them the necks of the family because they carry the head. Without a woman, a man is useless. And that's what I can tell you. And so women are like neck, you know, that carries the head. And so without the neck, we will not have the head. And so then the children are now the body parts that we have down. And so that is the hierarchy we are talking about. And so you as a child, you have to go to your mother so that your mother can convince your father to pay your school fees. And then also in these churches also we have that kind of hierarchy. But some churches do not have that. One person is the finance administrator, he is the senior pastor, he is ABCD. And so we get ourselves just hoodwinked in such situation. It's quite unfortunate. I have to read this story and give you with a lot of, you know, feelings. Why should we continue to deceive people of God up to that level? That for them to go to heaven and meet Jesus, they have to go to Ethiopia. See, let us preach the gospel. Let us preach what we have. And let us not just preach because you want to preach. If you're not gifted in preaching, please leave that work, go and dig. If you're not gifted, please leave preaching and go and do other things. You have better things that God has called you to do. Stop hiding under preaching that you're a pastor. You are not. Stop forcing yourself. It will not work out. It will not come. You understand? If you get me in one of the hospitals that I'm a doctor, I think you should even laugh. Because one thing, I fear blood. 2, I fear dead bodies. 3, I don't want to stay for 10 minutes in the health facility when I am not sick, because the environment is not friendly to me. So there, I cannot convince you that I'm a doctor here. Maybe I can convince you that I'm a politician. Let's go for a break. When we come back, we still have more for you right on Westnile Television. My name is Denis Oringi, and it is 29 minutes past the hour of 8 a.m. right here on Westnile Television. We shall be getting up to the hour of 9 a.m. right here. I still have more for you. I will be diving in what we call the Neo Vision this morning before getting to give you what is happening in the world of sports right this morning. Thank you very much. Let's go for a break.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, we'll be back. Thank you very much for joining us. All right, this morning once again. Let me dive into what we have in the New Vision this morning. One of the stories that was featured in the New Vision is about the 80 Ugandans duped into meeting Jesus in Ethiopia, repatriated. New Vision has also captured that story. You can read more in the New Vision. And then also Katol Obama's death, a big loss to the country, according to General Salim Saleh. All right, let me give you a full story about this. This General Saleh said comes a time when the country was trying to revive the arts and creativity sector, which he said was badly hit by COVID pandemic right then. So the chief coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation and senior presidential advisor on defense, General Salim Saleh, said that the passing of former Lugbaga South MP and actor Paul Katol Obama was a big loss to the country. This General said comes at a time when the country was trying to revive the arts and creativity sector, which he said was badly hit by COVID-19. And quoting him verbatim, said here, "I have learned with profound shock the passing on of Katol Obama, 52 years old, which occurred in the early morning of June 7th, 2023. General Saleh said in a letter read by his aide Major Herbert Ndiwalana right there. And so on behalf of the Operation Wealth Creation fraternity and on my own behalf, I wish to extend our heartfelt condolences to the wife, children, and the entire family for the great loss right there," Saleh said. General Saleh said Katol's contribution can never be underestimated. And so he told Munas that at the time of his death, Lubwama was already in partnership with Operation Wealth Creation, developing a stage production called Ceasefire, which Saleh said they would continue to produce. Indeed, his legacy will continue to shine. And so General Saleh Lubwama will always be remembered for his style of a debate in Parliament and his mobilization skills without any political leanings. He noted that he was unable to attend the burial because of other official engagements, but other than that, their hearts and thoughts were with the grieving family right there. And so Ndiwalana said Lubwama recently met General Saleh, who accepted to contribute towards the former legislator's return to Turkey for further treatment, but that Lubwama still needed to first complete his ceasefire project. Lubwama will be buried at his ancestral home in Konzi, that is in PG district, on Wednesday this particular week, is what you need to know right there. May his soul rest in eternal peace right there. And so for those who have been able to interface with Lubwama and also watch his clips, his comedy clips, and the titles of the actings that he was able to do, you can really know the person we are talking about. FDC to discuss a Besigye uncomfortable departure plan is what you need to know right here, that according to that is Besigye, his decision is based on his distrust that the coming election would be free and fair. And so that is what you need to know, that the Forum for Democratic Change says the way forward to what is next for the party following Dr. Kizza Besigye's decision to quit electoral politics rests with the party's National Executive Committee right there. We will sit in National Executive Committee, discuss and agree on the way forward. Deputy Party spokesperson John Kikonyogo says right there. And so Kikonyogo was on Monday addressing a journalist question about what next after the party's three-time party flag bearer announced he would not take part in future presidential elections. And so since its founding in 2005, Besigye has been the party's anchorman, and so he ran for the national presidency in 2021, 2006, and 2016, but lost to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And so although he did not run in 2021, it was widely expected that he would get back on the ballot in 2026 to help resurrect the fortunes of the party that suffered to battering in the 2021 elections, losing its position as the largest opposition party to the National Unity Platform. And speaking during a consultative meeting on constitutional and electoral reforms held at Speaker Resort Munyonyo last week, Besigye, however, dampened the hopes of many when he said he would not contest. So according to Besigye, his decision is based on his distrust that the coming election would be free and fair. And so Besigye's revelation followed a suggestion tabled by Gilbert Olanya, Kilak South Member of Parliament, FDC member, that he stands in 2026 as the joint opposition presidential flag bearer right there. So speaking to journalists on the matter at the party's headquarters at Nanjanakumbi, Kampala on Monday, Kikonyogo said he has not told us formally in writing that he will discuss it in NEC, but when he talks to us about it, we shall handle it accordingly right there. And so that is FDC's statement in regards to the statement made by Dr. Kizza Besigye, who said that in 2026 he will not now contest for any elective position in this country. And so that is what you need to know. Eritrea joins IGAD 16 years after walkout is another story that you need to know right here, that Eritrea has really bounced back to that is the Intergovernmental Agency for Development, IGAD, that is after good years of walking out, 16 years. And so Eritrea has rejoined the East African Bloc, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, nearly 16 years after the politically isolated state pulled out of the body. Information Minister that Yamane Meskel said yesterday. Eritrea resumed its activity in IGAD and took its seat at a summit organized by the Seven-Nation Bloc in Djibouti on Monday, Meskel said on Twitter. So he said the country was ready to work towards a peace, stability, and regional integration right there. So the authoritarian state suspended its membership in IGAD in 2007, following a string of disagreements, including over the bloc's decision to ask Kenya to oversee the resolution of a border dispute between Ethiopia and Eritrea. And so Eritrea broke away from Ethiopia in 1993 and fought a 2-year border war with its neighbor, which that poisoned relations until a peace peace agreement in 2018. And so following the rapprochement with Addis Ababa, Eritrean troops supported Ethiopian forces during the federal government's war against the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, and have been accused by the United States and rights groups of some of the conflict's worst atrocities right there. So that war ended with a peace deal signed in November last year that called for the withdrawal of foreign forces, but Asmara was not a party to the agreement, and its troops continue to be present in bordering areas of Tigray, according to residents who have accused the soldiers of murder, rape, and looting right then. So North Korea of Africa. And so Monday's announcement comes after Eritrean President, that is Isaias Afwerki, told reporters during a visit to Kenya in February that his country would rejoin IGAD with the idea of revitalizing this regional organization. Isaias, 77 years, did not attend Monday's summit in Djibouti, sending Foreign Minister Osman Saleh and Presidential Advisor Yamane Jebre to the meeting instead. And so the Wakene Gebeyehu, Executive Secretary of IGAD, that is hailed Eritreans' return to the bloc, saying in an official statement, "Let me take this opportunity to welcome back the state of Eritrea to the IGAD family," right there. Dubbed the North Korea of Africa, Eritrea was sanctioned by the United States in 2021 after sending troops into Tigray. In a rare press conference in Kenya earlier this year, Isaias dismissed accusations of severe rights abuses by Eritrean troops in Tigray as a fantasy. Human Rights Watch in February called for fresh sanctions against Eritrea, accusing it of that is rounding up thousands of people, including minors, for mandatory military service during the Tigray war. And so the country sits near the bottom of the global rankings for press freedom as well as human rights, civil liberties, and economic development right there for you. And so that's something that I can give you in regards to Eritrea rejoining, that is the Intergovernmental Authority on Development right there. That Uganda is a part and parcel of this IGAD right there for you. For those who do not know, allow me to let you know that Uganda is one of the contributing countries to that is the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, and that is why we have the Dr. D projects being implemented, simply because Uganda is one of the countries that subscribe to Intergovernmental Authority on Development. If it was not because of that, we would not be, enjoying the Dr. Deep that we are talking about, that is being supervised by the Office of the Prime Minister right there. And so that is the information that I want to give you. If you do not know that Dr. Deep is the brainchild of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, and because the resolution was reached at that organization that happened in Djibouti to really convince the World Bank to really support the countries hosting refugees, and more especially the projects should really benefit the districts that are hosting refugees. And let me tell you that the refugees are not only here in our country, Uganda, they are also in other countries that subscribe to Intergovernmental Authority on Development right there for you. And so that is something I felt it is important that I should be able to bring to you. Let's get to Ham versus DTB Bank Supreme Court decision expected today. Is also another story that you need to know, that Ham, a business tycoon in this country, Uganda, taking on a DTB Bank, and the Supreme Court decision is expected to be out today. And so I know he will be waiting right there. All eyes will be on the Supreme Court today as it prepares to render a landmark decision in the case of Ham Enterprises Limited and two others versus Diamond Trust Bank Limited and another. This after the Supreme Court scheduled Tuesday, June 13th as the date on which it will deliver its judgment. In judgment notice to Cake and Cake Advocates, Moema and Co Advocates, and Kimara Advocates and Consultants, the Supreme Court registrar said, take notice that the judgment in this appeal has been fixed for June 13th, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. If no appearance is made by yourself, your pleader, or by someone by law authorized to act for you, the judgment will be delivered in your absence. Last week, businessman Hamis Shigundu filed an application seeking to hold the judgment, citing the urgent need to afford Shigundu the right to be heard and an opportunity to adduce additional evidence. So Shigunda accuses DTB Uganda and DTB Kenya of allegedly illegally deducting over 120 billion from his accounts under the pretext of servicing a loan he had acquired from the bank, yet he had earlier on fully cleared the said loan. And so the appeal before the Supreme Court arises from a ruling by the Court of Appeal in May 2021, which directed a fresh hearing of the case in the High Court. This prompted Shigundu to appeal. And so High Court Judge Peter Adonyo in October 2020 ordered DTB Bank to refund all monies that were deducted from Chigundu's accounts. Furthermore, the account instructed the bank to return all securities that Shigundu had deposited right there. So we are waiting for this judgment that will be, presented today to the persons that have really gone to court to challenge this particular one. And so we will be waiting to see in whose favor will the judgment really be, is what Ugandans are waiting to hear. And this story of that is Hamis Shigundu together with DTB Bank, it did not start today, so it started way back. And so Ugandans are interested to really see who will lose at the end of the day. Will it be DTB or Ms. Shigundu, who is one of the tycoons that we have in this country, Uganda, right there for you. If you go to Kampala, you will be seeing skyscrapers, buildings that are up in the sky, and also the others that are being constructed, and for those structures and buildings belong to him. And I've been told that he's the gentleman who is behind, developing that Nakivubo stadium right there, much as it has not yet been completed. He is the gentleman behind the establishment of Nakivubo stadium right there for you, and plus other buildings that are being rented out to the business people that we have in Kampala. And so he is a man who really, he has money. That is what I can really say as a business person. So if you're a business person, you don't have money, then you're not a business person. And that's something that I need to let you know right there. Dear viewer, you have to know that 12 minutes to the top of the hour, that is 9 a.m. right here on Westnile Television. That will be the time that I'll be getting out of the studio. Let's go for a break. And when we come back, I'll be diving into what we have in the world of sports right this morning for you. Good morning. My name is Denis Oringi, and this is KOKOLIRIKO Live on Westnile Television. Good morning.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners. The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
I'll be back. You're still watching Westnile Television. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Let me dive into what we have in the world of sports right this morning. All right, dear viewer, you have to know that Keralur, that is Alur Kingdom, the office of Jadipu, the Prime Minister, has written to, that is Mr. Rogers Biamukama, the chairman, Fufa Drum Organizing Committee, Fufa Complex, Mengo, Kampala, and the reference of the letter is consideration of Alur province into the Fufa Drum competition is what he has written right there. So allow me to go through the letters that he has written right there. He wrote this letter on 5th of June 2023, and so warm greetings from Keralur, Alur Kingdom. We wish to kindly draw your attention on the above reference subject. We appreciate the positive outcome and effort the Fufa Drum competition has brought, that is into the community of the young people across the country. The West Nile province operates within a diversity of what we call communities without a unifying symbol like Toro, Buganda, Asholi, Lao, Teso, Abosoga, all of which have a unifying language under their respective cultural institutions. West Nile comprises of 12 districts and 1 city with the most diverse communities speaking over 8 languages. This has distorted the dressing room language under the West Nile cluster. And so therefore, as an established cultural institution that has influence across the greater Nebi, districts of Pakwash, Nebi, and Zombo, we are requesting a separate province to cater, that is for this cultural reality. And so these shall consolidate the vision of the competition dubbed Celebrating Our Ancestry. We expect an opportunity for 2 provinces in the West Nile sub-region to improve inclusion, participation and visibility of the competition amongst the people of West Nile. Please confirm if my delegation can meet you and team on Wednesday 28th of June 2023 at that is 10 a.m. to listen to the detail of this proposal as we look forward to seeing this dream come to pass. Thank you, Prince Lawrence Oparangala, Jadipo Prime Minister, Alur Kingdom. He signed this particular letter. And this is one of the local sports stories that I need to bring to your attention that is also national in its nature, because we are talking about Fufa Drum here. And so the Alur Kingdom wants Alur province to be included in this Fufa Drum, not to be consolidated under West Nile, because West Nile is a unique sub-region that we do have in this country, Uganda, with over 8 languages and different cultures and tribes. And so when you look at the theme for Fufa Drum, and that is celebrating our ancestry, and so West Nile has got no ancestry. That's something that you need to know. That's facts, because ancestry, it is in line with the cultural institutions and cultural heritage that we do have. And so this is a letter that has been written by the Prime Minister of Alur Kingdom right there. And so, but for you, what you need to know also that today there will be the draws for, that is Fufa Drum, that will be made right there. So Fufa Drum 4th edition 2023-2024 draws shall be today, Tuesday, June 13th, 2023 at Fufa House, Mango, the White Rhinos, that is the West Nile province, the defending champions, winners of 2022-2023, while Asholi, the province is a winner of 2019, and Buganda province a winner of 2018. The other 2 are previous winners. And so the Fufa Drum is celebrating our ancestry, is their team right there. So we are waiting to see whether this will be effected, whether the plea from the Prime Minister Alur Kingdom will be taken into consideration. And there was a time I can really remember that I took to my Twitter handle and wrote this, and people really castigated me. Little did I know that there was also a person and some people who are in support of what I had proposed, because when we are talking about celebrating our ancestry, the English words are very clear: celebrating our ancestry. And so West Nile has got no ancestry, unless we are looking at the different cultural institutions that we do have. And so if it's a province, we have Alur province that can really join in the Fufa Drum as independent province right there, not being amalgamated under West Nile province right there. And so that's what I felt it is important that I should be able to bring to your attention. So we are waiting for that meeting. That will be on 28th of June. That will be Wednesday. The team from Alur Kingdom will be meeting with the Fufa executive committees right there to discuss this particular matter right there. Let's get to that is the Premier League. You have to know that 5 Premier League transfer moves to watch is what you need to know. That Real Madrid are reportedly keen to make Kane their replacement for Karim Benzema, and Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy will likely to be more willing to listen to offers from the Spanish giants than a Premier League rival. And so the English transfer window opens on Wednesday ahead of what is expected to be another heavy summer of that is spending by Premier League clubs. Business has already been done by some teams as Liverpool moved on quickly from missing out on Real Madrid bound Jude Bellingham to land Alexis Max Alister from that is Brighton right there. So Hurricanes' future at Tottenham looks set to be the major transfer saga as the England captain enters the final year of his contract is what you need to know. Several of Kane's international teammates could also be on the move, with Declan Rice, Mason Mount and James Maddison attracting interest, while Brighton are expected to cash in one more by selling Moise Caicedo. And then also Hurricane Tottenham, despite leading the line for a struggling Spurs side that finished 8th, Kane was still prolific with the 30 Premier League goals. Kane is now within 47 goals to Alan Shearer's record as the Premier League's all-time top scorer, but he may have to decide whether to pursue that is more individual milestones or the first trophy of his career right there. So Real Madrid are reportedly keen to make Kane their replacement for Karim Benzema, and Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy will likely to be more willing to listen to offers from the Spanish giants than a Premier League rival right there for you. So dear viewer, you have to know that exactly 1 minute past over 9 a.m. right here on Westnile Television. With that, we have come to the end of our program, the KOKOLIRIKO, live on Westnile Television. I do appreciate you very much for joining me. For those who started right from the time I started the show up to this particular time that I'm signing out of the studio, we thank you, we do appreciate you, and thank you very much for always being with us. Keep watching Westnile Television. Other programs will be following right after here. Other programs will be getting on board as well, and we continue to pray for those who want to join us in the world of business. You want to advertise your business with Westnile Television, we still have platform for you that you can really link up with us using the contacts that are really scrolling on your screen and get in touch with us. You can as well follow me personally on my Twitter handle, Denis Oringi. Oringi Francis 11 is my Twitter handle right there. Not forgetting following the Twitter handle for Westnile Television, and also not forgetting the YouTube and also the Facebook page where we always come to you live. And we thank you very much for those who have been catching us live using the YouTube page and also the Facebook page of Westnile Television. We appreciate you. We do not take you for granted. We are here to serve you, and we are here to give you each and every information that you need to know. Don't forget that exactly 7 p.m. Christian Okumuringa will be coming through with what is happening in the world of news right here on Westnile Television. We thank you very much. May the good Lord bless you and continue watching Westnile Television. Good morning.